From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Afternoon Edition.
Right now on the Afternoon Edition, the Bay Area enjoying this warm, even hot weather in some places today as we start with a live look outside. And we were out at Moss Beach early this morning for this beautiful view. But do be careful if you're going out near the water today because we do have some beach hazard advisories in effect. Thanks for being with us this Tuesday afternoon. I'm Ann Makovic. Let's get right over to meteorologist Jessica Birch for today's forecast and the changes ahead.
It is a warm day for us here in the Bay Area with daytime highs topping off in the 80s throughout most of the Bay, at least, San Francisco included. That puts us about 15 degrees above average for this time of year, just in the city alone. And you make your way off into our inland spots, we warm up even more. 86 in Antioch, 85 up into Santa Rosa. We're close to the 90s today, down into San Jose, and that is breaking records for us as we head into this afternoon. This area of high pressure, this heat dome that's been sitting over California and pretty much the whole West Coast, has continued to break records widespread throughout areas like Seattle, all the way down into Palm Springs, off into Texas too. But things are changing for us here in the Bay Area starting tomorrow as a cold front approaches us. Temperatures are going to drop from the 80s to the 60s from today to tomorrow. And then to add to that, we're also seeing cloudy skies and rain sweeping in from offshore right around the corner. As this area of low pressure moves in, this cold front will continue to bring in bands of showers into our Thursday forecast, too. We'll catch a little bit of a break as we dive into this weekend with cloudy skies, and then more rain returns as we head into early next week. More on that coming up.
New at noon, Stanford has fired their football coach effective immediately. The program's general manager released a statement citing recent investigations into Coach Troy Taylor. There had been a report that he was accused of mistreating staffers. The search has already started for a replacement. An acting coach might be named for the 2025 season. Police officers might be returning to school campuses in Santa Rosa. That is after a 5-year pause in the program. Today, the school board is reviewing a draft agreement with the city to station officers at the district's 5 high schools. Under the proposed 3-year pilot program, officers will handle emergencies, respond to crimes, and work with school officials on crime prevention efforts. School board members voiced their support to have officers return after several recent violent acts on campus, including a deadly stabbing of a student in 2023. The board is going to debate the plan at a special meeting tonight at 6. It could eventually cost you to get help from the fire department in San Jose. We're talking about $427 per visit. The city's fire chief says medical calls have been way up since the pandemic, and first responder fees would help sustain their responses. The city council is going to consider it. The fire departments in San Francisco, Vallejo, and Alameda already implement those kind of fees. San Francisco is changing the way it responds to crises on the street. Today, Mayor Lurie announced that they are combining teams from 7 city departments into one single team focused on street response.
And if you're someone who needs care on the street, you won't be passed from one team to the next. You'll get help from a team that is deeply knit into the community.
So that new model went into effect yesterday. For now, they are focused on the Mission and Tenderloin neighborhoods. The VTA strike will continue for now. The union for the bus and light rail operators rejected VTA's latest contract offer by more than 80% of the vote. Union leaders say a major issue is items added in the offer that weren't a part of recent negotiations. VTA says they have put forward a more than fair proposal that ensures employees receive competitive pay and strong benefits for themselves and their families. Talks are expected to continue. Meantime, VTA is trying to help commuters impacted by the strike get around. The transit agency is offering riders $5 Uber vouchers twice a day. But the rides do have to begin and end at a VTA bus or light rail station, and they have to be ordered on Uber's mobile app. In Marin County, the Board of Supervisors is going to discuss a new ordinance aimed at restricting young riders on some e-bikes. If it's approved, that ordinance would ban riders under the age of 16 from operating Class 2 e-bikes in unincorporated Marin. Those are the e-bikes that have a throttle that don't need any pedaling from the rider. The move follows a spike in e-bike accidents among 10 to 15-year-olds. The full proposal will appear on the agenda for May 20th. If the ordinance is approved. New at noon, an appeals court allowing the Trump administration to suspend entry of new refugees. That's as a lawsuit plays out over the president's executive order halting the refugee admission system. Refugees conditionally approved before President Trump took office must still be processed. And lawmakers and national security experts are demanding answers after reports that top Trump administration officials discussed some highly sensitive military operations over a messaging app. Natalie Brand reports this comes just as the Senate Intelligence Committee holds its annual hearing on worldwide threats.
I think this is one more example of the kind of sloppy, careless, incompetent behavior, particularly towards classified information.
As lawmakers grilled top national security officials at an annual hearing on threats facing the U.S., many are questioning why high-level Trump administration officials were reportedly discussing plans to attack Houthi targets in Yemen over the encrypted but not government-approved messaging app Signal.
Obviously not a good thing. Again, it'll be up to the president, seeing how he wants to handle it. I'm sure it's a mistake that's been corrected right now.
Could have had airplanes shot down. I mean, right now we might be talking about possibility of POWs in Yemen.
The Atlantic editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, says he was accidentally invited to the group chat by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz.
I inadvertently discovered a massive security breach in the way the national security establishment conducts its business.
Goldberg says the messages included information about weapons packages, targets, and timing of the March 15th strike shortly before it took place. The White House press secretary said this morning no war plans were discussed and no classified material was sent to the thread.
This was a breach.
H.R. McMaster served as national security advisor under the first Trump administration.
What happened here is they traded off security for convenience. You just can't do that.
The White House press secretary also says the president continues to have confidence in his national security team, including National Security Advisor Mike Waltz.
The National Security Council also says the White House is looking into how journalist Jeffrey Goldberg's number was inadvertently added to that messaging thread. Still ahead here at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area, it is a way of life and a way of giving that she is passing down. This Women's History Month, we're going to meet a Bay Area philanthropist who is leaving a lasting impression. And he has a clean record in one dirty job. We're going to meet a San Francisco garbage man who's up for a very big award. March is Women's History Month, and today we are highlighting a philanthropist in San Francisco who dedicated her life to giving back to underserved communities. She tells Laureen Ayub she is hoping her children and grandchildren will follow in her footsteps.
Even at the age of 94, Rosalind Swig, also known as Sissy, continues her philanthropy in San Francisco and beyond. Recently awarded a key to the city for her unwavering support to the arts and social justice, she credits her generosity to lessons from her mother.
I think my mother was my strongest influence, and I guess I learned from her the value of giving back.
And now Miss Swig is passing on that value to her children and grandchildren. Focusing on disadvantaged communities, Rosalind says her family's commitment to uplifting others came from a key principle in her Jewish faith.
We have a term, a Hebrew phrase called tikkun olam, and that phrase, when translated, says, give back to those in need without any expectation of getting something for yourself in return.
And one such example of that sense of giving back can be clearly seen at the India Basin Shoreline Park. The Bayview Hunters Point site, once a hazardous wasteland, was revitalized after Miss Swig, who is co-chair of the Capital Campaign Committee, rallied with others to support the community.
It was really transformative because it allowed me to become aware and part of a community that had gone through and was going through very, very difficult times.
Rosalind shares that compassion for humanity with her grandson, Adam Swig, who runs nonprofit Value Culture.
The greatest gift my grandmother ever gave me was the gift of giving back, of knowing how to give back. And that's the one thing we hope to leave people with.
For Rosalind, whether it's a political leader or community member across the city, she wants her neighbors to know one main thing.
They are part of a world that cares. So I guess that's what gives me the most pleasure.
The kind of care that keeps her and her family always finding ways to give back.
All right, back to our first alert weather now. This is a live look from our camera on Black Mountain, looking back at the Santa Clara Valley, where it is downright hot today. Let's check back in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
It feels like summer here in the Bay Area with daytime highs today about 10 to 15 degrees above average in areas like San Francisco and Oakland, sitting in the 80s this afternoon, widespread throughout the Bay. It is a warm day, and we're actually breaking records with this summer-like weather pattern down into the Santa Clara Valley, where today San Jose is close to the 90s, topping off at 89 degrees. Now, yesterday was a warm day. Today, once again, is a very warm, if not hot day for some of us here in the Bay. However, we have some big changes in the forecast right around the corner. Starting off with what's happening, though, high pressure has been building in from our inland areas, and that's kind of created this heat dome that allows for all of us to sit above average anywhere from the Bay Area down into Southern California, all the way over into Arizona and Texas, too, about 20 degrees above average over there. But here in the Bay, starting tomorrow, a cold front sweeps in from offshore, and this is going to bring in light showers here and there, and of course some cloudy skies and daytime highs dropping all the way down to the 60s right around the corner. This is a 20-degree difference compared to what we have today alone. And at the same time, heading into our Thursday forecast, we'll hold on tight to that cool weather as more showers roll in from offshore. Now, from today until next week, we're going to continue to see on and off showers in the forecast for us. And with that in mind, I want to show you the next 7 days because, like I said, from today until tomorrow, we're going to jump about 20 degrees just from a Tuesday into a Wednesday forecast for our daytime highs. And then we hold on tight to low 60s, wrapping up this week, heading into this weekend, and all the way into next week, too, with rainy skies right around the corner. Now, that was our inland forecast. We make our way over into the Bay, and it's the exact same setup, 80s to 60s. We're ditching this warm weather right around the corner with cool, cloudy, and wet conditions in the forecast as we head into this weekend and early next week. Back to you.
It is not every day that a garbage man gets the red carpet treatment, but one San Francisco trash collector is cleaning up in more ways than one. Our Itai Hod introduces us to a third-generation driver who is up for the so-called Oscars of garbage.
Most people don't even notice their garbage man. They hear the truck, rush out the bin, go back inside. But if you're lucky enough to live on Dave Barbagelata's route, you should probably know you're witnessing a master at work.
Picking up garbage, help keeping San Francisco clean. Can't ask for more than that.
Before you've even opened your email, Dave has already deleted your trash. On a busy day, he can clear up to 1,400 bins. And while it may look repetitive, mundane even, there's an art form to it.
This one, slowly. Go like that. Yeah, slowly.
One that can take a while to nail down. He's worked for Recology, a San Francisco-based waste company, for the last 37 years. He's not burned out or counting the days to retirement. He genuinely likes it.
It's not everybody's dream or ambition to grow up and be a garbage man. I enjoy what I do.
Garbage is in his blood. His grandfather started in 1925. Dad followed. Now it's Dave's turn to drive the family legacy. And here's the part that should really make you pause. In 37 years on the job, he's had 0 accidents and the cleanest record in one of the dirtiest lines of work. And this year, someone finally noticed. Dave is a nominee for the Oscars of Garbage. Yep. You heard that right.
It is exactly like an Oscar. They're announced, they walk up a red carpet, they come up onto a stage.
Michael E. Hoffman is the president of the National Waste and Recycling Association, which started handing out these awards 65 years ago.
We show up every day. We're on our streets and our highways and our towns and our cities more than anybody, more than EMS, more than police, more than fire.
For Dave, this isn't just a big deal, it's a first.
I couldn't believe I was one of the guys that were chosen. Hi.
And after 4 decades of excellence in the garbage industry, Dave Verbagelata might finally collect something that isn't trash.
That is it for the afternoon edition. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Just go to live and then choose Bay Area. In the meantime, try to get outside and enjoy some fresh air. It is a gorgeous spring day. Have a great afternoon.